So really interesting thing happening in Seattle. I think we've mentioned on the better half of the program. Kem Champion, I think, may have first pointed this out to us, but a woman running for city council under the Socialist Alternative banner. Her name is Kshama Sawant. And the election obviously taking place, I guess now in about a week. She's not necessarily going to win, but there was a piece in the Seattle Times on how she has managed to push the conversation far to the left than what we normally see in a general election for the mayorship, the mayoralty, I guess, in Seattle. Against coal trains, check. For universal preschool, check. For more transit, bike lanes, and compassion for panhandlers, triple check. These are planks of Sawant, but they have been adopted by the incumbent Mayor Mike McGinn and his challenger State Senator Ed Murray. Danny Westneat writes, on issues where they haven't adopted her precise platform, such as levying an income tax on millionaires, they actually wish they could, but the city can't legally impose an income-based tax. On other issues, they have begun listing the socialist. For example, the $15 an hour minimum wage. McGinn says, as the incumbent, I'd go even higher. If the council proposed a higher number, I'd support that, McGinn declared this month. Westneat writes, something definitely is different. Typical candidates here go hard left for the primary, then tack back ever so slightly toward the reasonable center for the general election. This was the route McGinn traveled to win in 2009. But this year, the candidates keep coming up with new ways to out-liberal the other. About the only socialist ground Sawant has left all to herself is her plan for rent control and unionizing Amazon. So either these politicians are widely misreading the public or something is happening here. Now this is Seattle. Just like New York is New York. And it remains to be seen what any of these politicians who win are going to implement. And it remains to be seen what Bill de Blasio, if he can squeak by the cat killer in New York, will implement.
Nice callback.
Oh, thanks.
The cat killer.
Yeah. But the bottom line is that if the bluest of blue cities is not moving hard to the left, you're not going to see it anywhere else in the country. And I'm not suggesting that Bill de Blasio is a move to the hard left, but he is a move at least to the left, if even only in its rhetoric and what it takes to get him elected. I mean, we saw this obviously with President Obama doing this in the run-up to the 2012 election. And so this is, I don't know, somewhat encouraging. But it leads to a post that I teased before by Ian Welsh over at ianwelsh.net, who was... I think it was Open Left that he was involved with back in the day. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Open Left. It was, I can't remember the name of the blog now. It escapes me. But nevertheless, Ian Welsh, I'm not sure why he wrote this post now, but he writes, in the early 2000s, progressive blogging seemed like a big deal. At the first yearly cause, as it was called then, big-name politicians came and kicked our ass. We were covered by major newspapers and TV outlets, etc. Today, we are nothing. The reason is simple. We could not elect enough of our people. We could not instill sufficient fear We could not defeat incumbents. We did not produce juice. Clark and Dean didn't win the 2004 presidential nomination. Dean was taken out in particularly nasty fashion. He goes on to point out that Joe Lieberman won his general election, although he lost his primary. He goes on to say the nail in the coffin was the 2008 primaries, and compares this to the Tea Party's ability to primary incumbent senators and House members, sometimes going on to win, sometimes not going on to win, but nevertheless, they have instilled fear. And I think it was the agonist that Welsh was at, but nevertheless. And there was a comment also in the comment section by Jerome Armstrong, who was involved in the Blanche Lincoln, Bill Halter, I believe it was, race back in 2010. And he basically marks that as the point where bookends that Lieberman fight in the primary, as that was the 2010, the failure of both unions and Netroots and a progressive win taking out Blanche Lincoln in Arkansas, was really the end of that juice. Now, I think there's a lot of truth to this. We have seen the PCCC attempt to win in the primaries, and sometimes they've been successful to a certain extent, other times not so much. But I think at the end of the day, this is one of the biggest failures of the progressive left. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, and I would put money as a top of that list, frankly. That makes a big difference. Nevertheless, and there's other reasons too. I mean, I think there is a hyperpartisanship on the left, loosely called the left, that is problematic towards those goals. I think you have an infrastructure amongst the Democrats that is, they're the establishment Democrats who control that infrastructure. The DCCC is probably more to the right relative to their caucus in general than any disparity within the Republican campaign committees. I don't know what the answer is there, but maybe there's a model in Seattle. I mean, I think, to a certain extent, this stuff has to happen on a much more local level and has to bubble up. I mean, the Tea Party, one of the things that they also have effectively done, whether you want to call them the Tea Party or you want to call them the fundamentalist right, they have taken over a lot of the local infrastructure of the Republican Party. Local and state infrastructure has been taken over by those people, and that's where money has a less of a role to play. It is under the radar, and so I don't know. I just wanted to mention it. I thought it was interesting.